Hello, it's Regina. Welcome back to my haunted library. Today I am here with a book review for a book called Osgood as Gone, The Spectral Inspector #1 by Cooper S. Beckett. This book was sent to me by the publisher, who is Horror and Carnage Press, an independent publisher, which I'm going to check out more about them. Happy to support the independent horror press. So this book was given to me in Kindle, and I read it for the last couple of days, and I really liked it a lot. So here's a synopsis of the story. Like I said, this is the first book in a series that just came out. Once an exciting up-and-coming star of the burgeoning paranormal investigation TV genre, now Prudence Osgood finds herself as a barely functioning alcoholic living in daily pain, both physical from a car accident nearly 20 years ago and emotional from the loss of Audrey Frost, her partner and best friend, over an ill-advised hoax. When a random and cryptic email shows up in her inbox, she must begin an investigation that is far more sinister than it initially seems, and far more connected to the last 2 decades of her own life that she could ever imagine. Osgood as Gone cuts a trail from a lonely rest stop papered in missing posters to a notebook full of symbols and sigils to a band that could outsell the Beatles that vanished almost overnight. Can our intrepid hero Osgood follow the breadcrumbs, avoid texts from her one-night stand Nora, make amends for the past, and still have a future? Find out in Osgood as Gone. Okay, so this was a really fun read. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. It's kind of like, has a little bit of like an X-Files feel to it, and a very unique protagonist. So, and that is really the strong point about this book. Osgood, Prudence Osgood is a woman who's like pushing 40. When we meet her, she's a blackout drunk living over a bar who can't remember her one-night stand, but she does see the dildos in the sink. There's a lot of that kind of imagery. She is identified as a queer sexual being, and that part of the book was very interesting. It's nice to see someone exploring a different type of protagonist. So I really applaud the author for doing that, and he does a really good job in kind of fleshing out this very flawed character. And what I like about it too, it's not really, although her sexuality is kind of front and center of the story, it's not everything about the story. So this is a very different type of protagonist, and it's really good to see that. You know, it's good to see writers exploring that, and he does it very well, and it's very bold, but it's like, it's not that it's about this character's sexuality, it's just like a characteristic. It's just another given of the personality. So it was very interesting. So they go on this kind of sleuthing mission, Osgood and Zach, and they go to this, following the clues of this text message, they go to a rest stop and they find underneath this sign all these stack of missing children pictures, like from the 90s, that are, is it from the 90s? I think so. I don't really remember when they all disappeared. There's a date that they all disappeared. I think it's 99. And they're kind of all these kids that were listening to this rock album from the 80s, or it was like a pop album. So it's kind of like, it gets into that, like the Beatles, you know, like a hidden message in the album, which I love that kind of stuff. I was just, I read this book probably a couple months ago. I did a review on it called December, which deals with this kind of, you know, the evil rock album and how everyone sells their souls to Satan. You know, this is a trope. You've seen it. We sold our souls. Grady Hendrix did it. I wrote a book called Black Magic that kind of deals with that. So this is familiar territory, although it's not a bad thing. You know, I love this trope. I'm always like so there when I see it. So it does explore that a little bit. So I was kind of happy to see that, actually, because it's fun. And you know, overall the book is great. It goes into this almost like very supernatural territory. with sort of this Cthulhu character, and who keeps recurring in these recurring flashbacks, and kind of a... Oh, and there's some really cool illustrations in it, which I had the Kindle version, so I assume they're in the book too. The book has a nice cover. So overall, I was very impressed with this first in a series. I will definitely check out further books in the series. This is a series I could see myself getting into. The only reason I took a star off was because I found that although I really liked the protagonist, I got a little bogged down with the character at times, because she was she had so many problems that, not that it was hard to like her, but it was kind of like, I found that she did sort of that, a lot of self-pitying behavior that I've just found kind of tiring after a while, where I wasn't really sure why people were even like in her sphere and kind of tolerating her, because she could be pretty obnoxious at times. I mean, her ex-girlfriend, best friend, kind of lover shows up again. And I didn't really get the sense that this relationship was, it was very one-sided with the ex-lover, kind of very, very forgiving, but I don't know, it just didn't feel like Osgood was like, I don't know, maybe she's got something going on that I'm not seeing, but I'm like, why are people even like liking this person? She's very kind of abrasive and unlikable, but on some level, I liked her, so I don't know if that makes sense. I could see myself picking up the next book in this series. So if you're looking for something that has kind of like an X-Files feel, it's a kind of a cozy with a twist, I would check out Osgood as Gone, the Spectral Inspector #1 by Cooper S. Beckett. So I thank you to the publisher again for sending me the Kindle copy of Osgood as Gone. And let me know in the comments below what you're reading, and I will see you soon in my haunted library. Bye.